Hello viewers, so here we are then checking out a race on GT Sport in the new wet weather at Tokyo. We're going to see how we get on. I've had a quick practice, had to learn the course, and I'm starting in 8th, which isn't the end of the world, but it's a very tough lobby, so we'll see how we go. I'm going to relax now and have a nice cup of tea. That lobby is tough. Oh my goodness. Oh, why do I have to do this to myself? Why do I have to put myself in lobbies with guys who are really good at the game? Oh well. There we go. I'm gonna actually close. Is there any way to pop the chat? That's fine. Just done a pop-out chat, so I've closed that now. Just trying to improve the internet connection for you guys. So these are all sort of good drivers here, aren't they? Good drivers. I swear I don't remember those men standing on the wall there. Maybe they were there, I just didn't notice. I'll have to look at an old video. I think they're new. So it's very easy. Oh, that was a good quick warm-up, wasn't it? So I'm going to play it safe here, viewers. I don't want to crash into everybody. All right. Let's see how we get on at this race. Let's get some music for you guys. We'll concentrate now. Wow, it's a bit of a minefield here, just seeing where you're going. Oh, well, that's a penalty for me then. Completely caught up there with whatever happened. This is a disaster. It's very hard to get anywhere when you've got cars literally sliding into you. Wow, it's tough. Tough just trying to find a clean way through. Whoa, blimey. Oh, blimey, everyone's slowing so much, it's very difficult to... I'm getting hit, everyone's getting hit here. This is not easy, viewers. Damn. Got a bit of wheel spin but kept it together, that's the main thing. The fuel weight makes a huge difference to the car handling. I wasn't quite prepared for. I mean, I'm prepared for it, but don't really know how to drive it, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm in last place pretty much now. I literally can't see Jack. I don't know what happened there. I forgot to alter my traction control. Somehow we're still in the race. I don't know how we're still in the race, but we're still in the race. The difference with the fuel on board compared to time trial, 5 seconds a lap. This is huge. Huge. This guy's much quicker than me behind me. I'm going to have him go up the side. No. Tippy toeing. Tippy toeing. Man, this race is exhausting, I tell you. Goodness. Okay, focus now, focus. Got a bit of clear space for the first time in the race, you know. Didn't need to do that. That's frustrating. That's messed me up completely now. Well, I'm pushing as hard as I can, viewers, you know, doing my best. Five-second penalty though. That stuffed me, isn't it? That'll put me at the back now. Damn. Oh well. I'm frustrated, but I am trying my best. It's I've got to tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy. I was quite comfortable then as well. What it is that as the weight of the car changes, the fuel weight changes, you know, all the different things that are altering the car, the tyres wear ever so slightly, it alters the speed through the corners. And when you've run a couple of races, you know where you're going, but when you're I can't tell you how difficult it is trying to get through that corner, guys. Wish I could go faster, but it is a tough lobby. Yeah, all these A and A plus and S racers, I can tell you, are all very quick guys. You know, they're not slow guys. Bit of a shame really, because we lost 4 places then as well, and it'd been nice to have been a top 5 finish or something like that. You know. Cramp in my foot now, which is not helping me, but so we learned a lot doing that race. We'd learned a lot. So certainly there was a lot of improvements to be made. That was quite a stressful race for you as wow. That was I've got to tell you, felt the energy from that race, the amount of balance. Everyone was really on it, but it tippy-toeing round. So I ended where I started then, did I? I had a bad start, didn't I? I got kind of hit by a few people, but my plan was to just get round it rather than, you know, try and you know, take anybody, you know, until I got a feel for it. That was good. That was good. I enjoyed that. Let's just replay. Save replay. Yes, we'll have a look at that. Okay, that's good. That was a bit of an interesting race, and I'm going to talk a bit about some things I couldn't communicate while I was driving because it did require quite a lot of concentration. We lost 32 seconds on the leader, but a lot of that wasn't just pace. It was just the fact that we were boxed behind people. There was a lot going on. We weren't always flat out, and that one mistake cost me a 5-second penalty, plus getting back up to speed, plus the mistake at the time. You lose like 10 seconds just with that one mistake. So it's amazing how costly something like that can be. Let's just but that was a good lobby, wasn't it? Good lobby, good racers when you look at it on balance. You know, weren't mucking about. We had 3 people quit through rage, 3 rage quitters, so I'm quite pleased about that. My first race in 4 months. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Can any of you guys watching tell me if the stream is running okay? I'm running a higher bit rate, but I just wanted to check that you guys were getting a good quality stream from that as well. I'm going to take a look at the replay actually while I finish my tea. That was a race, viewers. That was a race. Stream is good, great. car I've already had 5 times before, but let's just have it again. Oh, no, actually, no. It might not be, actually. It's not the rally one, is it? Right. Who knows? Who knows? I don't even care anymore because I get so many of the same car. It's in here, isn't it? I can literally feel my nerves. That was so much concentration going on there. So let's take a look at the racing action with fresh eyes, basically. So I've probably done about, I don't know, 25 laps of it now. That's a good race distance for me in this session, I think. I have to say, it's very stressful driving these cars in the wet. It's really tricky. So if we just take a look at the start, let's see how we got on. Bit of music. It's amazing how much better it does look on the Pro, I will say. I'm excited about what this is going to look like on the PS5. I can tell you it's potentially going to be awesome. So let's just take a look at the starts. So I'm looking at myself from a replay. See if we can just close that, and let's have a look at it on Twitch so I can see it's fine, it's working okay on Twitch. It's good. Glad the stream's running okay for everybody. So on the way then down into turn one, what are we doing? What are we thinking? You're thinking slipstream. That's what I'm thinking. A slipstream. Let's slipstream everybody into turn one. And let's go behind car, slipstream everybody to turn one, and let's brake a bit earlier. So I'm slowing down a bit earlier. I could have covered the inside, but I didn't know where my braking point was, and the fuel was very high. Now going around the outside here, I just didn't know where to go, so I had to slow down, let the rest of the field catch up, and then I get kind of squeezed on the inside here by this guy losing it, and that kind of squashes me then, and then look, I lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places at that point. 7 places I lost. So I mean, that really destroyed my race then, didn't it? That gang of guys in front of me now, I've got to try and overtake. It's just racing for you. That's just racing. As you can see, another guy there making 8 cars in front of me, getting hit from behind. So I can see that we just got to go slowly here. I'm not touching that guy. He's already losing it all on his own, thankfully, because if you touch him, obviously you get a penalty. And so then moving on, I'm just thinking, right, I've got a nice clear bit of track, forget the guys behind me, and the car weight affected me there. The fuel weight gave me a lot of understeer through these corners, so I'm realizing straight away, wow, I can't drive this as I expect to drive this. I'm not driving the way I would normally drive, or in the gears I'd normally drive in. And you see, because I wasn't able to take my line through that corner, and then I'm losing out to this guy as well here, so that the whole race start is ruined when you get caught out like that. If I just managed to get past that red car, I would probably have been battling for the lead at the end rather than knocking around. But this is racing, and I enjoy racing. So braking as wide as I can. I can't see what everyone's doing there, and I took it round the outside because I figured let's just give it a different line. When you can't see the inside, you don't know what's at the apex. And again, I think this guy here tried to sort of squash me at the barrier there. He's lucky he didn't get another penalty for that, actually, because, oh, he did. Ah, well, there you go. I mean, you've got to give people space when they're there. That's the thing, and there was just nowhere for me to go at that point. So it's one of those things. So he's got 7 seconds, from 5 to 7 seconds, but that's okay. I don't think about that, though, because I've got to do a whole lap behind him now. So, and sometimes when you've had a comings together with somebody and they've got a penalty, you can quickly find that they get a little bit angry. They'll weave around a bit and try to give you a penalty, and even ruin their own race in the process. So in terms of that, I'm just trying to mind my own business. I was braking. That guy in the yellow was braking a bit harder than I expected there. He was trying to do a slow line on the inside, and then he just didn't get on the power there, and it was quite unpredictable, that bit of driving, while all this mayhem was going on around us. That guy there has an 11-second penalty, so he's ruined his race. and the other chap does 2 second. Both of them, I think, finish ahead of me in the end, actually, for various circumstances. And so now I just think, well, let's just follow them and look for some space. See, all this way through this, I'm literally trying to just avoid people. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to aggressively race them. I'm not blocking them. I'm not using racecraft in that way. Again, getting on the power there. Again, wheel spin, easy to do. Learning the conditions with the fuel, and that lets the other guy past. Again, no point blocking him. I'm already aware he's there. Just let him go. Let him go. You've made the mistake. Accept that. Let the person pass and move on. It's when you don't accept that and you block them that you cause problems for yourself. Now, they weren't that quick there. I could have gone a bit up the inside myself even, but then I'm thinking, you know what, he's got a penalty. There's 4 or 5 cars in front of me. Let's just keep it together. And so I can see this guy's got a penalty. I've not got much visibility at this point, actually. I think if you look at it from my point of view, I couldn't actually see the corner at all there. And I went through a ghost. I didn't know he was there at all. So, and he's a ghost now. And he's losing it, turns into a ghost, as does he. So, and then I nearly lost it as well. It was so slippery on that corner. There are no words how challenging that is when you're pushing hard. So it's very different from in the car to behind car view, and you can see how behind car view is a massive advantage, because when you're in the car, whether you're here or whether you're using a bumper cam, you get affected by the spray, but when you're behind the car you don't. So it's actually a big advantage if you can drive from this view, or want to drive from that viewpoint. It's a huge advantage to visibility. Gives you a view up the road anyway, but certainly in the wet weather it's a shame just how much visibility you lose, if you like, via what's going on there. Now, just breaking excuses. Oh, Lucas, no excuses from me. No excuses from me. I always say it as it is, because I think that only by admitting your mistakes do you learn from them. That's the thing. So, like, that guy was braking later than me. He understood where to brake. He understood what gear to be in when braking. Great, let him pass. So whenever someone makes a good driving decision, or that I make a mistake, I always let people pass, because there's no point blocking them. You end up slowing yourself down as much as them, and it all goes pear-shaped. So now we've got a bit of time. We've got a bit of time we've got a car right behind us there as well. He hits the barrier, thankfully. That's that. I was aware of that. And now I'm just sort of focused on closing up now on, well, working my way through the field anyway. There's not much spray on the screen, is there, at this stage? I mean, obviously when we get to the next PlayStation, that's when you'll have a lot more of that in terms of high quality particle effects. And just trying to keep it progressive and smooth through here. I was quite surprised he didn't get a penalty. That was quite a hard wall hit there. But just keeping it smooth. It looks so sedate from there, doesn't it? I would love to see what my actual wheel inputs were, but there's a lot more going on with the wheel and pedals than it sort of looks like there. Look how slow we all are through there, tippy-toeing. There's just no speed through that corner, and even there you're still losing it nearly all the way. So just accelerating now and looking to just keeping the slipstream, really keep as close to these guys as possible, but I'm not confident on the brakes into turn 1, so I don't necessarily want to overtake them. If I can't overtake them on the straight on the way there, I'm not going to overtake them at all, because I know that I can't outbrake them. I don't know how to slow the car down as well as they can. Some of these guys are much better at slowing the car down than me, so I lose a lot of time in Gran Turismo by not braking in the correct way or knowing the technique. So I'm kind of letting them go a bit here, getting the car into the apex nicely, and then just trying to follow a smooth line. I don't know who's going to be the one to follow. He's losing it a bit, so we choose the outside line there. See, that was a line selection where I thought, no, he's got wheel spin, he's going to be on the inside, we can take that and we can out drag him down here. There's more grip on the apex's corner on these lines, surprisingly, than there is on the other side of the track. And again here, a lift, way more grip on the inside. It's a positive camber, braking there. Wasn't braking enough there, but we had, no one's going to overtake you on the apex, that corner, almost losing it on the exit, and but keeping it together. I knew I'd lost speed, but at this point, you know, I said earlier about when you make a mistake, you let the person pass. You have to select certain times when, no, actually, I don't want that guy in front of me, because so I'm pushing a bit harder. You can see there's opposite lock going on, and now I'm braking and turning in, and just not feeling the car through so much here. The car's moving around more, and this is where I just get on the power a bit too soon. The moment, oh no, we're hanging in there at this moment. We're going to pass this guy, and I can see I'm being harassed from behind. And I go wide here, and I let him brake up the inside. I figure he's going to late brake, so let's brake extra early and then do the undercut, as it were, on the inside, and that worked well there. I knew there was a car there, and then he struggled to get on the power behind me, and then he makes a big mistake there. You can see that, and loses a lot of time. Very easy to be done. I was changing my traction control on every corner, so, or not every corner, on that corner every lap. I was doing number 1 or 0 or 2, depending on the severity of the corner. So we've got a bit of time on our own now. We've got a bit of time to just go for it, and this is the lap where I make my critical error, up to 7th place. So we've gone from 7th down all the way down to about 14th, 15th, and we're back up to 7th place again, which is okay given the circumstances. And we're working our way up now. So that's my plan now. Just focus. I'm still not feeling confident in the car. I don't know how it's going to behave as the race goes on. This guy's braking very late behind us, but I take my line, because I knew he was quite a way behind. He could have, if he had tried to take the corner from that far, he'd have taken us both out. So I'm quite pleased he didn't do that. And now I'm off just trying to focus. I think I've wound down the traction control, and I've just said let's go for this now. So I'm giving it everything here. And you can see I was half a second almost up on my best, so I was definitely getting more speed at this point. But the guy behind me is flying. I make a slight mistake there, but the guy behind me is absolutely flying. I mean, he's really going for it, and not too bad through there, getting on the power, so feeling quite good. Earlier on I was getting that sort of oversteer, wasn't I, moments. The car was sliding around, but here I'm being more progressive, feeling quite comfortable. Car up ahead's got a penalty, that's good, that will take us into 6th. And just sliding the car a bit through there, got a bit more speed, this is feeling good. And then suddenly that's it, the rear just lost it for a second, and not only did I lose it, but I lose 3 places and I get a 5-second penalty. And I felt the car before it went, but I thought I could hold it. That was my mistake there. I thought, oh, we can hold this will be no problem. I drift it through the corner. No, it wasn't going to happen. So after that, it just meant tippy-toeing a bit more. Then what happened was, of course, I lifted, made a mistake all through the corner, lost all time all the way through that whole section. Then, because you're in the wrong traction control setting for the corner, and then you've got to clear your mind again. You've got to say, well, that's that. I'm going to focus on improving and just trying to get my lap back again. You know, get my head back into the right place. So now I'm going to start pushing to get my head into the right place and seeing how we can close up on these guys again. There's my 5-second penalty hanging over me. So what does that mean? It means you just drive hell for leather to see if you can pull another second or 2 out and the guys behind you. It doesn't mean slow down and give up. It means just push like never before, basically. Take your line through the corners, nice and smooth on the power. Don't let it stress you too much. Just go for it. That's all you do once you're in that sort of situation. And then basically now 5 seconds. Let's see if I can close up on these guys. But it's going to be tricky. So not too bad through there. I think I am actually pulling out a bit of a gap on the cars behind me, so that's good. It just shows I was very unlucky to get the 5-second penalty when I span out and crashed all on my own. It does feel a bit harsh sometimes when you get that and then you suddenly lose it. But we're up now, and we're closing up on to first gradually. Onto the car in front gradually. I see the cars behind her penalties as well, so I wasn't necessarily aware of what was going on around me there. Focused more on my own, trying to get up to speed again. And you can see how everybody tries to take advantage when you're... It's nice to see the detail in the grooves in the tyres. You see somebody made a mistake there. So despite everything, we're somehow in 9th position after all that. And now we're on our way, having made those mistakes. And the lap isn't too bad. I mean, given there's a 5-second penalty, I think I end up with like probably my fastest lap of the race. So it was a cracking lap up until a mistake earlier. Yeah, so a 2:18 with a 5-second penalty. I don't know what happened there. I must have put in a blinder of a lap. And that's purely because I was concentrating purely on pulling out a gap on the guys behind me. So we're working our way up now, and now just trying to focus on one car at a time, just to get the balance there in terms of speed. Not focus on the whole race, just one car at a time. And every corner you just think, there you go, people making mistakes behind me, that kind of helps me. I mean, these are, you know, A class and S class and A plus racers, so they're all top boys when it comes to racing. They're not slow. By the end of the week, everybody will be absolutely nailing it around this course, and it will be super duper difficult to get anywhere by the end of the week. But Monday's always the day that you can get on it. Everybody's a little bit rough around the edges, learning how the cars handle. And no doubt there'll be a better car for racing revealed by the end of the week as well. I don't know if this is the best car, but it suited me in terms of overall ability. I seem to get more out of it, I'm more comfortable with it. It seemed to work relatively well for me. So again, you're just learning this car. I'm not as quick through here as I was before. The grip levels were changing, and there was actually more grip maybe than there was before, but the car was lighter. And so in the end, the gears changing as well. So I could do with a bit of a, you know, bit of experience in terms of understanding that. Getting out of this corner is always tricky. You can see everybody's always struggling there, but luckily I seem to be getting away with it okay. Just by modulating traction control really. And focusing on these guys, what we've got, two cars ahead we can see. So it just shows, you know, lost 8 places at the start, you know, had a 5-second penalty, you still do okay. You know, you've just got to focus on, you know, what the job at hand, essentially. So now final lap, 9th place. Quite pleased I'm pleased with the way I've driven. I've made one mistake. Other than that, I don't think there's really much else I could have done. With the experience I've got, I've gained the experience on how much earlier you need to brake on the first lap, which is much earlier. Gained experience on how your gear changes later in the race. You could shift up to 5th on a couple of corners, which you couldn't earlier. So I was peaking a bit and losing a bit of speed. Now I know I can shift up and be a bit more aggressive with the car as the race goes on. Probably turn traction control off more, as if I've got a bit of a gap I can do that and then focus purely on speed. And then again, like you say, just losing it a little bit there, but not too bad. I was playing it safe actually at that point. I remember just playing it safe. Touch on the wall there, mind you. It shows it can happen. I wasn't accelerating as early as I was earlier. So I'm glad I did. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble basically, because I was getting on the power a little bit later. Again here, a bit slower than usual, a bit more progressive. I didn't lose any time actually. The guy was 1.8 seconds behind and remained there. And then that's it really. You just got to focus on that acceleration zone, which I now know is tricky. Change the traction control setting and brake for that final corner when you need to. Get in nice and early. Around those final couple of Couple of bends. Somebody made a mistake on the final corner. That's gotta hurt, hasn't it? Gotta hurt. How frustrating must he be? Another guy lost it on the final corner as well. Wow. How difficult is that? It just shows you, you know, your tyres wear, fuel weight changes, suddenly your car's spinning all over the place. So it wasn't just me in that race. It was definitely a challenge. And then we come over the finish line and finish what was quite an exhausting race. So quite enjoyed that. That was a good fun race, viewers. Good fun race. And I think we're getting to the end of this stream. So I think that was it for Gran Turismo today. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of racing action, a bit of my initial feedback on this week's racing challenge, Group C challenge. And thanks for tuning in on Twitch. You can watch the videos live on Twitch, and I'll be streaming more and more in the weeks and months ahead, streaming different games, getting on a bit more Gran Turismo, a bit of WRC, and other stuff as well. We've got some good WRC content to come, as well as WRC esports to come on the channel as well. But that's it from me for now.